And I'm back. Time for another quick little vlog here in my workshop. I had to do some work to my bandsaw. Seems I let the smoke out of the motor that was in there. It's a Delta saw that I got off a friend used, and the motor in there was some cheap Chinese import that the guys who imported it into Japan put on it, and it had no markings on it whatsoever. I mean, here, I'll show you. This is the motor. There's not a mark on it. The only thing that's on it is the very bottom. There's a B. Which, yeah, don't know. Anyways, this thing was getting hotter than could be, and it just wasn't working well. And nominally, I think it's probably a 3/4 horsepower motor, but you know, who knows? So I took this out because it just wasn't. It wouldn't turn the blade through the wood. It was pretty ridiculous. So I built a bandsaw a number of years ago, and it had some problems, but it did work good on some ways. Anyways, what I have from that bandsaw is this. This is a 1.5 kilowatts. That's around 2 horsepower, 3-phase motor, because I have 3-phase down here. And it's a slower speed, but I got bigger pulleys, yada yada. Anyways, I was able to retrofit it. I can't really see anything over here. I was able to retrofit it and put it back on this Delta saw. And let me tell you, the amount of power is just unbelievably different. Instead of just barely creeping through the cuts, I can just cut it. I mean, I'm still taking it easy because you're turning a huge big chunk of wet wood, but still a lot better than it was. The other thing I did, well, a couple other things I did, 2 things in particular. One is there's kind of a grate that's in the dust collection port on this saw, and it was clogging up. So I took it out. There it is, there. And I also did a thing here with this. Before, when I would start this, I would put a clamp on here. Now, the fence on this saw, it's a Carter or Craig or whatever. It's a really good fence, but it's kind of huge and it's kind of in the way all the time. And I don't really use the fence on the bandsaw very much. I have a huge, big resaw bandsaw to resaw, so I don't really use the fence. So I took it off, and this allowed me to put a hook over there. So this was a commenter on one of my videos. Somebody said just put an L on there, and I mean essentially that's what that is. It is. Just take it off and show you. It's an L. Now with the fence on here, the problem is I wouldn't be able to take it off. But without the fence on here, I can just put it on like this, put it on there. The jig doesn't tip over. So it's kind of a 2.0. The other thing, the problem that I had was the urethane tires that were on this saw. These blue tires were just completely shot. I mean, they were barely even stretchy anymore. They didn't hold on, and one of them broke. So time for new tires. Now, I did have some tires on the other bandsaw wheels from that other bandsaw I made, but this one in the bottom got chewed up once when I got the blade stuck in something. And so I didn't want to use it, but I was able to use the other one from the top wheel on the bottom wheel on this saw. So I was able to retrofit that. I'm using the orange tire down there. Now the other thing is, what about the top wheel? Well, that is the inner tube from cut in. I took a 12-inch inner tube from some kind of a kid's bicycle or something, and I cut out a piece and I stuck it over there, stretched it over, and then I cut it to fit. It's not glued on or anything, and it's working. Now, is it a long-term solution? No, of course not. But right now, with all of the problems with and stuff, oops, I said a bad word. With all the, you know what, going on, I'm having trouble getting stuff shipped from the States. Like Amazon won't ship me, and other companies that I've contacted, they're like 6 to 10 days. Well, I want to get this stuff done and get it out of here. So I saw somebody else do this on a smaller saw on YouTube, and I thought, why not give it a try? I mean, it cost me like $8 for the tube or whatever, and I cut it up, and there's more than enough rubber on there to do it twice. Now I understand that inner tube on there is not going to last like a urethane tire, but it should get me through this job. Anyways, I'm going to just quickly now set the camera up and show you how much better this saw cuts. The one thing that I will say about the new motor that's kind of a, I don't know, minus or not, but when you turn the saw off, it takes a while for this thing to spin down. I almost want to put a brake on it somehow. Because with the other motor, you turn it off and it would stop within 5 or 10 seconds. With this thing, no way. Here, I'll show you. There's the saw. Turn it on. And stop. certainly takes a lot longer to spin down and stop. Sorry about all the bright lights in here, but I am underground. So I'm going to set the camera up now and just cut one blank and show you how much better this saw cuts than the other saw, or this motor, the more powerful motor cuts. I mean, it makes sense, right? Going from a 3/4 horsepower nominally, or I mean, you know, it's one of those Chinese motors, so maybe three-quarters of a horsepower, like 4 seconds before it burns up and blows up into pieces. But I mean, who knows? There's no markings on that saw. I don't even know it was 3 horsepower. It might have been half horse. I have no idea. But going from 3/4 of a horsepower to 2 horsepower, I mean, that's like what? 2.5 times the power, something like that. Not going to do math on YouTube. Anyways, just hang in there, and I'll be back with the cut. Stay tuned.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I got my dividers here. I'm going to set my post distance from the blade. Now I can pull the sled out here, and like I said, I don't have to clamp it anymore because I got that L on there. Well, this isn't a huge blank, it's a smaller one, but it'll still serve the purpose. Okay, I am going to turn on the dust collection. That just works so much better, it's amazing. I wasn't even pushing it. That's got to be 5 inches of solid oak, and it's wet. So I mean, it's pretty darned impressive. That I mean, you know, more power. So I also replaced the machine bolt on here with the I had a longer bolt that had a smooth shank, and so I just used a smooth shank there. And boy, that's easier to get it off than last time. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Take care, everybody. Wash your hands, wear your mask, take care of yourselves, and stay away from people. They give you germs and viruses and stuff. Just kidding. Everybody, be safe. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.